Hello Newlands wonderfully supportive parents. This is the message to you that I promised from Wednesday, and I just wanted to touch base with you as well, just to give you an update on what's going on with your school and to reassure you about what we're trying to do in terms of continuing the learning for your son or daughter or ward if you're a guardian. I think first thing to mention is just how unbelievable this is that we're experiencing. I can't recall anything like this, and I'm sure those of you that have equally long memories and better memories than me. I mean, you know, if I think about, you know, what I was doing when the Twin Towers were hit by those planes, if I think about where I was when Princess Diana died, I mean, all these are, you know, quite fresh memories. But I think this is certainly something we are never, ever going to forget. You know, we keep hearing now on the news, you know, if I listen to the news in Europe, particularly from the UK, that, you know, this is the biggest mobilisation socially since the Second World War, the biggest threat we've faced since the Second World War. I'm actually quite surprised that people are not referring to this yet as World War III in effect. You'll understand what I mean by that. But the point I'm making is these times are unprecedented and rather unpredictable. But I want to reassure you that while I believe that this April is likely to be the toughest month, that the peak then will be on a downward trend towards re-establishing some form of normality. I don't speak obviously for the government, and I'm just trying to speak for what we want to do at the school. So, you know, one would hope that things will return to normal. We can't put a date on that yet, and I don't think it would be right for me to do that. But, you know, again, going back to this thing about this being unprecedented, you know, I think I remember a couple of weeks ago saying how typical of the French to restrict movement and, you know, how dare they? And then look what's happened to the rest of us. Here we are, shut up in our houses. And, you know, and we're having to deal with that and the pressures, you know, on that isolation, if you like, which it isn't easy. I was discussing this with the COO yesterday, Ali, and just saying, you know, we kind of thought that this might be easier working from home. It is not easier working from home and being away from all of you and seeing you at the school every day and dropping off your children in the morning. You know, it's part of what we do, isn't it? It's part of the routine of school and what makes it so enjoyable about being there and being around people, which we are, you know, currently not doing. So, you know, the second thing I'd like to mention is that, you know, we, you know, after a little bit of you know, some teething issues at the beginning, we are mounting live lessons with full timetables. There's been some varied response, I think, from, you know, the students in terms of their attendance. The attendance is averaging somewhere around 50 to 80%. So I think if you can encourage your son or daughter to attend those lessons, you know, force them if necessary. We are providing that service for you to ensure that the school is running even in that virtual format. That's important that we're putting that on there for you. So bear with us. It's all very new to us, myself included, you know, especially learning about the new technology and how to mount the lessons online. But, you know, let's appreciate our fantastic teachers for the efforts that they are making and still planning their lessons. They're still going the extra mile for all of you, which I think is fantastic. So let's just bear in mind that there may be some issues with learning about what we're doing in this world that we find ourselves living in, connectivity, and just so a little bit of patience and understanding from your side would be a tremendous help to all of us at a time where we can't see each other. So there is a message going out today from 5 p.m. for those of you that have sons or daughters that are going to be impacted by the exams in O2, O3, A1 and A2, and with recommendations about our advice to you. So that's on the way. And don't worry about that. And I'm sure that you will be able to speak to us if you want further clarification on our advice and what Cambridge are going to do as far as awarding grades this year in the absence of those final exams, and whether students will defer the May and June session until October and November. So all of that's coming as well. And again, do not worry, that is all in hand, and it's all being discussed very seriously and rigorously behind the scenes. Now, one thing I think, I would also mention as well is do subscribe to the Newlands TV on YouTube. We've gone from, I think, around 150 subscribers to, I think this morning was 504, which is fantastic. So in actual fact, again, about how this will change us in the future, it's going to, because we're going to get better at using the technology. We're going to get better at using our Newlands TV channel, but do subscribe to the channel and you'll see some up-to-date and, amusing videos from our great students, which, will just take your mind off our collective situation, which, we all need a little bit of light relief. I'm sure you'll agree with me on that. So let's take some positives for the future. Things will return to normal. The school is there. I've been in this week, had a good walk round. Very strange to see the grass growing and absolute silence and nobody there. But your school is still there. And the moment that we have the go ahead, we're going to be open for business. That's what we are there to do. This is, as I've said to you all before, and will continue to be a very special school. Make no bones about it. That journey still continues and that work still goes on to that end. And, so I think, for the future, let's look forward to, those days in October and November of the next session where we've got security days and smog days. This time we'll be able to say, okay, plan B is immediately in operation and your lessons are online tomorrow as per normal with your teacher. And all of that now we're going to get much better at. But as I say, it's a learning curve for all of us knowing how to deal with this whilst we're still working, like this and trying to support you. And finally, on that note, whilst the school is still going on, please can I encourage you to continue to support the school by paying the fees. This is absolutely crucially important. If as we are going to possibly hear that the summer holidays are going to be brought forward and the new session is going to start earlier, then this thing will average out anyway in terms of what you're paying, and you're not going to miss out on anything. So I know that times are difficult. I know that things are rather unpredictable, but ultimately, your son or daughter is still going to require their education. And I'll tell you now, you have put them in the best local school for that. None of that's changed. And I think ultimately you have to kind of keep the focus upon that. So please do support the school and pay your fees in a normal way. And lastly, I would just like to say thank you for being such fantastic parents. The school would not be there without you, and I am so grateful to all of you for being there for the school. You make it what it is. So I'll be in touch shortly, and if you need anything in the meantime, please do contact us through either through myself on WhatsApp. I know most of you have got my number, or through your HMs. In your respective sections. Take care, do listen to the government's instructions, and above all, be safe. Okay, thank you very much. Bye.